by the personal injury attorneys of Perenich, Caulfield, Avril Noyes. This hour will be informative, along with taking your questions and comments. Now, here are your hosts for today's show.
And that's right. We are back with FLA Law live on the radio. And it's good to be back in the WTAN studios. As you know, we are the lawyers and personal injury attorneys at Perenich, Caulfield, Avril Noyes, who host FLA Law live on the radio every Tuesday at 5 o'clock. And this is your live legal call-in talk show where we, of course, discuss legal matters, legal topics, and personal injury law and various other laws. We always have informative shows, and every now and then we have special guests, and we have one of those tonight with us who I'm so excited because I haven't seen her in a while. But before I share who I have with us, I'm definitely going to give you all the rundown on how you can continue to tune in. If you're in your car, getting ready to get out, you want to keep listening, or you want to go on social media or YouTube, you can find us both ways. So in addition to obviously the radio, we are streaming live right now on Facebook. So if you are a Facebook user and you would like to watch the show online, you can certainly tune in that way. Just search us on Facebook, put our law firm name in the search bar. It's Perenich, Caulfield, Avril Noyes Injury Lawyers. Perenich is spelled Perenich. Once you click on that, you should see the red circle around our logo that shows that we're live, and you'll be able to see the live stream right now. I'm also going to share that on my personal page so that other people that are watching can find it as well. But if you don't have a Facebook, but you still want to continue to listen online, feel free to go over to YouTube, and it's the same exact name, Perenich, Caulfield, Avril Noyes Injury Lawyers, and you'll be able to see us live, the FLA Law Show in the studio. You can see myself and my guests, and you can also leave your comments in the chat box. So if you do not want to come in, but you want to comment or ask me a question, you can certainly do that on Facebook or YouTube instead of calling into the station. But of course, I love to hear your voice. So if you want to talk to me, you have a question, or you have a question for our guest tonight, the number to call in is 727-441-3000. Again, the number to call into the station to comment on what we're talking about or to ask a question, the number is 727-441-3000. And without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my special guest. Of course, if you are watching online, you see my lovely co-host, if you will, who's sitting next to me. And she's no stranger to the show. She actually joined us on the show before. It's probably been over a year now. Yeah. But of course, she did stellar, and she gave us a lot of helpful information about her job and what she does in the legal community. And I thought it was high time to have her back and refresh everyone's recollection, and obviously talk to any new listeners who maybe didn't get to hear her on the show last time. And so I have with me Teresa Conti, and she is the director of the Clearwater Bar Association. And I'm sure she doesn't want me to, but I'm going to read her bio and let you guys know a little bit about her. And so Teresa is a proud graduate of Dunedin High School and UNF with her bachelor's in business administration. And she is an important and integral part of the fabric of this community. She spent 18 and a half years in the world of banking, and then she expanded her career for 9 years at McFarland Gould, Lyon, Sullivan, and Hogan, where she oversaw the marketing initiatives at that firm. And then with a solid work background in many other leadership roles, she was recruited by a friend from the legal world to join the Clearwater Bar Association as the executive director, which she started at the end of 2018. Teresa has also she also works with the Clearwater Bar Foundation to help the trustees with that organization with their mission to equal access to the judicial system through community outreach and education. Teresa's appreciation for community and nonprofits allows her to have maintained a long-term board position with many organizations, and I'll list a few of her leadership roles. That includes Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing, Directions for Living, the Oldsmar Eastlake Rotary, and leadership panelists. Teresa also works closely with St. Pete College and the Boley Center's Youth Employment Program. Teresa, please say hello to all of our listeners this evening.
Hello. Isn't it like uncomfortable hearing somebody talk about you?
It does. It is. And so when I'm going to put you on the spot, when you have us read bios at all, because Teresa, of course, is the director. And so she, of course, coordinates and organizes a lot of the Clearwater Bar events and the speaking engagements and CLEs, and she's great with that. And then she'll give you the bio for everybody that you need to introduce. And I've been in that position, and it's usually like the longest bio ever. And I feel like whoever I'm reading it about, they're probably like, shut up, I don't know.
Well, you're just like embarrassed. You're like, oh my God.
But it's all true. I mean, it's true information. And at the end of the day, it's good to kind of be bragged about, every now and then, because you're not going to brag on yourself.
Oh, well, it's me. Come on.
Allow other people to do it for you. And if you've met Teresa, then you obviously know she's just a joy to be around. And I think she's like the most amazing networker that you could ever meet. And I envy that about her, because they don't teach networking in law school.
And I'm thankful for that. I would never have a job.
Yeah. And I was going to say, that's the beauty of it, because that kind of led you into McFarland Gould and then into the position that you're in now. I don't think if you were as good as what you do, you probably wouldn't have ended up to be doing what you're doing now, right?
Yeah. I mean, really, it's kind of funny. It's just talking.
Yeah.
I enjoy talking to people. Right. I am not an introvert. So you learn a lot about people. You connect the dots.
Right.
And you'll be like, oh, wait a minute. Last week I spoke to a family law attorney, and here's this person trying to engage into this. And you just do an email introduction or pick up the phone while you're there. And
exactly.
Isn't it funny?
It is funny, because when you meet Teresa, and I can attest to this, when I first met you, it was like I already knew you, and you walk over like, I've known this person for years, and then it's like it just clicks. So I think that's the key. If you just treat everybody like you've already known them forever, it's easy. It's like, how you been? What's going on with your life?
Yeah.
But so people may not understand exactly what you do. Obviously, in your bio, we understand that you came out of the baking industry, and then you worked with a pretty big firm here in the Clearwater area for quite a lot doing marketing. And so that makes sense. But then you transitioned into being a director for the Clearwater Bar. And a lot of people may not know what that means. And obviously, we do have lawyers who listen to our show, and so they would quite understand it. But maybe our local community may not understand the role. And then, of course, in your involvement with the foundation. So I think first, let's kind of establish what it is you actually do and what the two arms or branches of the Clearwater Bar are and how you're involved.
So, I will give a shout out to just 3 of the attorneys that I always tease people that bamboozled me in the job, right? So we have Brandon Ballou, Josh Chilson, and Dan Perry.
I remember. Uh-huh.
And that was really through leadership panelists. We were classmates together. Josh and I were on the board of Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing. Back then it was called Clearwater Neighborhood Housing. But a lot of it is, for my role, I was really finding out. I thought it was a silly idea, and they pitched it, talked about it, and I thought,
so you really didn't know what you were getting into.
No, not at all. Did they trick you? No. Yes, they did. I'm saying this on the radio. In fairness, I don't know. Like it is funny, but here's what I learned. It's not TV, right? Mm-hmm. Our area has a lot of solo and small firms. We have some great attorneys with big hearts that want to do a lot.
Exactly.
But it's not like TV. They don't come out of their office and go knock on their partner's door and go, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Some may have a paralegal. Some may brainstorm a little bit. But what we try to do at the association, it's for the benefit of attorneys.
Right.
Right. We have a paralegal section. We have judges.
Which is very new, right?
Yeah, we've always had it. But about 2 years ago, Jessica Peters approached me. She's a paralegal at Kathy George's office.
Okay.
Phenomenal. She's on the Florida bar. And she wanted to make it more active and talk to me and Caitlin Jamo, who was president at the time. Mm-hmm. So they did a great job. Judges are involved.
Yeah, it's kind of taken off quite a bit. So it seemed almost a little dormant, and then
Jessica, then Heather, Nicole Sanders. Now we have Callie. with Cody Emerson, and we have Greta with Kim Kashuba's office. So yeah, they have a great time.
Okay.
But a lot of it is basically we provide continuing education for the attorneys.
Which is extremely important.
We provide networking opportunities, and then networking opportunities for specific areas of practice. So that gives them a chance to brainstorm a little bit, and they don't have to feel uncomfortable about it. They build some friendships, and it is social, because if you work alone and you go into the office alone, or it's just you and your paralegal, and you go home to your family, I mean, there really isn't a lot of interaction,
Absolutely. And then you really need that mentorship, because a lot of young lawyers, go out and hang a shingle, as they say, and start their own firm. And you're right, it's just them and their staff. But you need someone to be able to bounce ideas off, and you have to kind of get connected and involved in any way that you can. So I can understand how the CBA, provides that kind of support.
And we try to talk, our solo and small firm chair, Michael Ziegler, he does an amazing job trying to make sure that the solo and smalls have resources. So we have a lot of corporate sponsors. And the corporate sponsors.
Shout out to the corporate sponsors.
Oh my God, they're amazing. Just amazing. You could go to the Clearwater Bar Association page, and About Us has a list of our law firm sponsors and corporate.
And if you want to be one of those law firm or corporate sponsors, go
we're happy. We're happy to talk to you.
Yes.
But they do provide resources because you need capital.
Yeah.
How do you manage that capital as you're growing? You're just starting, but you do need to think about your exit strategy. What we talked about as solo and small firm last
succession
week.
plans.
Yes. Yeah. Just talking about all that. So really working to help the attorneys grow. How do they connect? Like we were talking before the show. My phone was blowing up this weekend. How can I help? I'm okay. Don't have power. Where do I go? So even just being
and those are still ongoing things that the people can, in the legal community and so on, can still reach out for and say,
absolutely.
Hey, I need a place to do a deposition and my office doesn't have power, or my home office doesn't have power. What can I do? And the Clearwater Bar can assist with that.
100%. We have their dues. Pay for part of their dues is they can use the bar office. So
I think that's wonderful.
We reminded everybody, just in case they were in panic mode, that they could use the bar office. The public defender, Sarah Molo, offered some offices at, I believe, the 49th Street.
Oh, she's great.
Dan Perry, Elise Winters. I mean, we had a lot of people reach out. So we just kept a list going that, let's say we had a few people call and we ran out of space, that we have other opportunities for people to go ahead and meet with their clients.
Okay.
Sometimes they need witnesses, right? If somebody's house got flooded and the paralegal or whatever, or they're digging out of stuff and you have will signings or whatever, we're able to provide witnesses for them.
And notaries and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. And then the Clearwater Bar Foundation benefits the community at large.
Right. So that's a separate entity. Not the same as the Clearwater Bar.
No, the association benefits attorneys, education, networking, for them to help and grow. Social, right? Make friends. My youngest just graduated college, and she said, Mom, how do you make friends as an adult? I'm like, go volunteer.
That's a great question.
She said, I don't know how to make, she's done. She graduated at 20.
Most adults don't know how to make friends.
I feel like that's how I spend half my time. I love my younger lawyers, or even like 25, 35, you're just introducing people. You're in that area of practice. You're young. You meet somebody. Here, talk, be friends. But the foundation helps more with scholarship opportunities. Okay. We work with the BOLI Youth Employment Program, and what the foundation tries to do is talk to law firms about being a summer intern and having one of their youths intern at the office for 4 weeks in the summer.
So tell me about that then, because if we have parents that are listening and they have high schoolers that they want to potentially get involved, what are the requirements and the qualifications?
So typically they would go to their guidance counselor. BOLI's Youth Employment Program counselors work with different high schools. They have to maintain a 2.5 GPA. And they really do try to reach kids that are low to middle income, maybe won't be as exposed to office work, or even there's kids that want to be in hospitality and they may have a relationship with a country club. Okay. So they don't really engage, let's say, fast food, because the kids can get a job there without their help.
Right.
And they do an 8-week program over the summer, 4 weeks of soft skills, where they're like an in-classroom kind of training, Zoom training on basic skills, looking people in the eye. You can't get mad and just walk out the door. And then once they do the 4-week soft skills, then they need a place, and they find out what the kids are interested in and then try to place them there.
Oh, okay. So it's not just being placed with attorneys then?
No, it could be anything. Sometimes they come to the bar office for maybe a week.
Okay.
And we had a great girl, Divine. She was in the STEM program and wanted engineering. So they were working with engineers. So they needed a place to have her. And we had a great time with her. And it was quick.
And do they get paid to do this work?
They are paid through BOLI.
BOLI. Okay.
BOLI pays them. They're funded by JWB. And it's not a hardship for the law firm. What they have to do is agree to kind of be a mentor and understand that the kids are coming in with not a lot. They may not have a lot of skills. So as long as they have a little bit of patience and show them some things over the 4-week period, it works out great. At the Clearwater Bar Association, we ended up hiring one of the students. Yeah. And it's a great program. So for anybody out there that is interested, definitely call BOLI Youth Employment Program and ask them that you wouldn't mind hosting, because after the summer, if they do a great job, they will pay a portion. So they invoice
for them to stay
you.
On? Really?
And you just get an invoice once a month. They take care of everything else.
Well, I know.
And that's the foundation's arm of it.
Right. The foundation, it does that part. I know our mutual friend, attorney Cars Campbell, raves about it. She loves the intern.
Yeah. So. And Gassman, Crotty, and Nicola, they have some.
They do that. Okay.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Chris Parker has had students in the past. So yeah, there's been quite a few. Summer
will be here before you know it. Yep. So if you have high school teenagers, sounds like a great resource. So they should reach out to BOLI or the CBA Foundation, which is the best way to.
For the community at large, I would reach out to BOLI and see if the student qualifies and if that's a high school that they work with.
Okay.
And if it's a business that would be interested in having a student, definitely reach out to BOLI's Youth Employment Program coordinators.
Got it. Awesome. So what other things does the foundation do then for the community at large?
So we're having a legal fair, and we typically, the Clearwater Bar Foundation has one every year, October. There's a week called Pro Bono Week.
Okay.
But this year,
this is October 1st.
Yeah. So this year we're trying something new, and we've partnered with other associations, the Sixth Circuit, a lot of the legal aids, and we're doing a circuit-wide pro bono day.
Oh, wow.
So
that sounds big.
It is. And it is, it's going to be neat because it's the first time. And if it takes off, then it'll be nice because people will know once a year there's going to be a circuit-wide.
In October.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me more about it then. What does this mean? What kind of pro bono is happening? Who do they get to talk to or meet?
Right.
And then we, of course, get the details of when, where, and all that.
Yep. So they can meet people in many areas of practice.
Okay.
I would say typically probate, estate planning, family law, labor and employment, some civil matters.
Yeah.
We added yesterday first party insurance.
Okay. That's good, especially right now.
Well, that's why we added it.
It's absolutely needed. That table is going to have the longest line.
So we did add that as a bullet
homeowners claims, guys. First party is generally your own insurance, making claims against your own coverages. So
and making sure, right, that everything is going smoothly.
Right. For the damage to your home and the damage to your vehicles and things like that.
Correct. So we did add that. And
smart. That was very smart.
So basically this week we'll be pushing out to all the attorneys to get them to sign up. And
I was just about to ask that. So
we never have a problem with attorneys.
The
we have
attorneys
great
that's
volunteers.
listening, they can volunteer
Yes.
in those particular areas of law to come and talk to people at the fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And right now it's at clearwaterbar.org/pro bono.
Okay.
And that's the landing page. They can see North County, West Pasco, or South County. And it has listed all the different areas of practice and how many attorneys do we need at each. Our goal is to serve people on Wednesday, October 23rd from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
And once we have the attorneys signed up, we'll also be promoting at the same time for the community at large. So all they have to do is show up. But there isn't.
So I know you were about to say the attorneys aren't the problem.
Yes.
So what's the problem then? We need the community to come. Right?
Exactly. We need the community to come out. The attorneys I told you, you all think I'm kidding, but I love our attorneys. They have huge hearts. And they're there. I have rooms of attorneys, judges helping just kind of navigate if the people they may ask for landlord tenant, but it really might be small claims, so they just kind of help navigate. Are they going to the right
Point
room?
them in the right direction.
Yeah. And, but sometimes the turnout isn't as big as you'd like.
Right.
So they're here, they're excited, and they want to help. And they just kind of navigate the people and let them know if they do have a case, what are some action steps they can take? It's more that way. They're not taking on the client per se, but they're giving them.
They're not actually physically signing up contracts or anything like that at the fair.
Not typically. Okay. Once in a blue moon, I wouldn't even say once in a blue moon. At least a few attorneys may take on a full-on pro bono case while they're there at the legal fair. But typically they're seeing people, kind of helping them with basic forms, making sure where are they going, if they do need to engage with an attorney further, how to go about doing that. And a lot of times, your friends, your family, everyone will tell you have a case, you got to sue. I mean, sometimes it's nice to just have an attorney to speak to find out. And it's
my
not
mom's friend, my cousin on her dad's side said that I have $1 million case.
Let me break it down for you. And I laugh. I mean, you really want them, to be able to know, do they have a case? Explain it, make them understand. They can answer their questions.
And that's better, I think, because the pro bono fairs, you can kind of have a one-on-one and it's free. You don't have to worry about paying a consultation fee and those sort of things. I think that is a draw for people because they may think, well, I'm not really sure if I have a case, so I'm not really wanting to spend any money and waste the lawyer's time. But this is open to the community.
And everybody, there's no income limit.
Yeah.
We have people, I said October of 2022, I said in the email to everybody organizing, we had to swap out the family law because we usually give that the bigger room and put estate planning, probate, and guardianship in there. That line was out the door.
Really?
It was so bizarre, so you're just having to.
You just never know.
You never know. You just swap out a little bit. And the attorneys agree.
Well, definitely give them the dates and the location again if we can.
Sure.
That way we can hopefully push to have a different problem this year. We have too many people who came.
Right. And we had to take down names and call people back the next few days.
That's the kind of problem we want this
year. That is an awesome problem. And North County, I do feed you because it's me and I'm not.
Oh my
I can't have people come without eating.
You got to get some food.
That's it.
Okay.
So it's Wednesday, October 23rd, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. For West Pasco and North County, it'll be hosted at the Hispanic Outreach Center, 612 Franklin Street, Clearwater, Florida, 33756. For South County, and when we say South County, just to use a guideline, Ulmerton Road to South St. Pete.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
And for North County, West Pasco, you're really looking at Ulmerton Road, past Tarpon Avenue, Holiday, Trinity area.
Got it.
For South County, it's at Cross and Anvil Human Services at Campbell Park, 1201 7th Avenue South, St. Pete.
Okay. And so if someone's driving in their car and they weren't able to take that information down, but they want to find out about it, they want to get the information or share it, how would they do that? Should they contact the Clearwater Bar or is it on the website?
It's on the website. They can always call the Clearwater Bar, 727-461-4869. But if they go to clearwaterbar.org/pro bono, it is literally the first thing they'll see on the landing page.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. And so if attorneys want to sign up or you want to volunteer, you can do that straight through the website as well with the clearwaterbar.org/pro
And it
bono.
has the addresses on there. So if somebody in the community, because the community graphics will be done by the end of the week, but it's the same location. So where the attorneys are volunteering, they can, that's where it's going to be. So they'll have an address there.
Awesome. So this is a good time to just take a short break. We're going to take a short commercial break, and then we'll come back and talk all about the lawyer referral service that the Clearwater Bar offers. So we will take a short break, and we'll be right back after these commercials.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
After a car accident, there are many questions that you need answers to. Who pays for my car repairs? Who pays for the medical bills? What about my lost wages? And more. The personal injury law firm of Perenich, Caulfield, Avril Noyes has been answering these questions for their clients for nearly 70 years. Since 1955, they've been a voice of the injured in the legal system. As one of the longest established law firms in Tampa Bay, Perenich, Caulfield, Avril Noyes is here to answer your questions. Listen to their live call-in radio show on this channel every Tuesday evening from 5 to 6 p.m. or call them at 727-796-8282 or visit them at voiceoftheinjured.com. Offices Clearwater, non-attorney spokesperson.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we are back with FLA Law live on the radio. Hopefully you've been tuned in this first half hour with our special guest, Teresa Conti, who's the executive director of the Clearwater Bar Association. She's been giving us the rundown on what the Clearwater Bar and the Clearwater Bar Foundation represents in our local legal community for lawyers and non-lawyers. And we talked a little bit about the pro bono fair that's coming up this month. So, of course, if you want more details about that, feel free to reach out to the bar or go onto the Clearwater Bar website. But there's also other events and other services that the Clearwater Bar provides. And so we want to make sure we touch on that before we get out of here, because there's so many other good things that the bar and the foundation does. But before we get to one of the main ones, I know that there's a gala coming up, right?
Yes, Saturday, February 1st.
Okay.
The Clearwater Bar Foundation is hosting their third Roast and Toast Gala.
Okay.
And it is really nice. It's a chance to get dressed up. There's jazz music, auctioning, and then an attorney agrees to be roasted. And it's, I thought it was going to be really hard, but it's nice. By the third year, we actually had volunteers or people that were voluntold, but they were really good with it. So this year,
as long as they're good sports, that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, because you have to have somebody that has a little bit of thick skin.
Yeah. And
I will say, this past February was Dennis DeFlamme. Mm-hmm. Everybody that roasted him did an awesome job.
Good.
And he had great thick skin, and then he gave it right back. So then you have to know, the people doing the roasting have to know
the roasting.
Yes. But it is a lot of fun, and it's really neat to watch the camaraderie that happens, because these are old law partners, judges, family members, and they line up.
Okay.
So this year, Robert Persanti, who is a really fantastic litigator.
Yes. And he's with Presenti
and Sir
West,
West,
right?
yes, yes. He has agreed to be roasted, and we have like a list of people that want to roast him. So then you think, wow, no, I'm teasing, but we do have a list. But it will be fun. It'll be good. And that is open to the public. Tickets are on sale now.
That's what I was just about to ask. So if you wanted to attend the gala, how would you purchase the tickets, and then what could you expect at the event other than obviously a really fun roast?
Right. So what happens is there's a cocktail about an hour and a half, and that's included in your ticket prices. You get dressed up. There's like a red carpet area. Ooh. You take a look at the auction items. You're talking with your. Oh, yeah, okay. yeah. And then that happens for, like I said, about an hour and a half. And then we walk into the main room. It's at the Safety Harbor Spa.
Which is beautiful.
And they have a beautiful theater room. And dinner is served. And they go ahead and start the program, talk a little bit about the foundation, and then kind of really get right to the roasting. So it's fun.
So then this is in February at the Safety Harbor Spa Resort. So what are ticket prices generally?
So if they go on the clearwaterbar.org page /foundation, there's a drop down that has the gala. Okay. And then you could purchase your tickets there. For a single person, it's $175. Okay. And for a couple, it's $300. We have presenting sponsorship opportunities, bar sponsor opportunities, lots of opportunities for marketing and advertising for your company.
For your business. That brings me back to a good point, because we did a short shout out in the beginning to the corporate sponsors who sponsor the Clearwater Bar. And people might think, okay, this is a legal organization for lawyers and judges. What would my business have anything to do with this? But that couldn't be further from the truth, right? It's not just legal services, legal programming, and legal vendors that really can get in front of this group, right? I mean,
of attorney, right? Because if
I automatically think of Gary.
Yes, when you need your house painted, right? So it is pretty cool because 75 to 80% of our annual sponsors renew every year, and that's important for the attorneys because they don't want to see a one and done. Right. So it really takes 2 to 3 years to build relationships with the attorneys. Once that happens, it just is very organic how the relationship grows, and they refer people to their clients.
Absolutely.
So we have a few corporate sponsors that are just looking for the attorney's business, but I would say the majority of our corporate sponsors would like to get in front of also the attorney's clients.
Exactly, because they're looking for those referrals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you do. I think it's good to have that organization that you can network to, and then the referrals can hopefully flow from that. So the Clearwater Bar, of course, is always accepting new sponsors.
Always.
And then, of course, as you mentioned, the gala and so many different other things. So if you obviously are a listener and you're a business owner, and that's something that you're interested in, then of course you can reach out to Teresa about that.
Yeah, myself, Ashley Modolo, and Carol McNulty, Jason Macaroni.
We're wonderful staff.
Yeah. That's it. We had a staff retreat 2 weeks ago. We're ready.
They're a great team over there. So, all right, great. So then we have the gala, we have the pro bono
for the foundation
fair, for the foundation. And then, of course, the main event that everybody loves in March, if you're an attorney and you're a member, is Oyster Roast. So that'll be exciting. So if you're a lawyer and you're listening and you're not a member of the Clearwater Bar, you should join just for the benefit of.
Listen, we always have a spike in membership.
Right
before. So that's our last little capture before our year ends. Absolutely.
It's a membership drive for sure. So, of course, I want to touch on something that's obviously important to the Clearwater Bar and also to the community. The service that you provide, and a service that we at our firm will often mention to individuals that may call in an area that we don't necessarily do. It's outside of the personal injury realm, or it's not a case that we really can help with, and they're looking for guidance. We will a lot of times refer them to this program. And what I'm talking about is the lawyer referral service.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about what the lawyer referral service is and how it works at the Clearwater Bar?
Sure. So the lawyer referral program, Alex Booth is my coordinator. He graduated from paralegal studies at SPC. Mm-hmm. He worked as a litigation assistant for 1 year at a personal injury firm.
Nice.
And took his LSAT and is now applying for law school for August of 2025.
Cool.
So you have a person that has some knowledge when you're calling in. Very driven. Mm-hmm. So for the attorneys, how the lawyer referral service program works, only Florida bar attorneys can be on the program.
Okay.
They must be a regular member of the Clearwater Bar.
Okay.
And we get their insurance. We have to send it up to the Florida Bar, all their information, and basically get a blessing, because it is something that we have to report quarterly and annually to the Florida Bar. There's guidelines, and it managed by the Florida Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. We have to follow rules.
Right.
So every quarter, we submit all the panelists' names, and the Florida Bar lets us know everybody's in good standing, or if there's a problem, would let us know if there's a problem. Mm-hmm. And knock on wood, I don't want to jinx anything, but we're good. I love our attorneys. And basically, the attorneys agree to be a panelist. They pay a small fee.
Okay.
And the calls that come in, depending on their area of practice, they select what they want, what they would like to receive calls about.
Sure.
And then what Alex does is when the general public or when one of our law firms refers them over, he'll ask a few questions, and then he's able to determine where to send them.
Right.
Sometimes kind of like how I shared with you at the legal fair. Once in a blue moon, someone will come back and say, no, that's not the area of practice they needed. Well, there was a little piece that was left out. Yeah. And when the attorney, dug deep, they referred back, and it's really a probate matter or, something like that.
Right.
But
and so Alex, who is a trained paralegal and soon to be law student, it sounds
fingers crossed.
He's the one that's basically vetting the calls and taking the initial intake.
And I will say he does have help on days that, right, he gets to take vacation, study for the LSAT. Carol McNulty ran that program for 4 years. She tried to retire, so we gave her a kind of retirement,
right,
and helps out with other things. And Jason Macaroni also will jump in and fill in then. And Carol trained Alex.
So you have a team.
We have a team that really helps out, and they're knowledgeable.
Okay. So then as far as the general public, what exactly is it? Essentially, if you're looking for a lawyer.
If you're looking for a lawyer and you don't know where to start, or you're Googling and you're overwhelmed, for the most part, I would say 90% of our referrals comes from the Florida Bar directly, because we have a referral service in Pinellas County. So if someone calls the Florida Bar will have them call the Clearwater Bar. The self-help center at the courthouse refers us a lot.
Okay.
And like you said, a lot of the bigger law firms will refer back to the Clearwater Bar. And then we go ahead and re-refer those cases out.
Okay. So let me make sure I understand. So once they refer to the Clearwater Bar and they call in, they speak to someone on the team, most likely Alex, then he helps determine where it may go, and then it's given to a particular lawyer who's in the panel.
Right. Okay. So we have a computer system. Okay. So it just does it lets you know, it just pops up once Alex enters in the information.
Right.
It pops up the next person that's available to speak regarding that area of law.
Okay. And do they speak with the lawyer right then, or they call their office? Okay.
So what happens is, if it's an area of law that we collect a $50 non-refundable fee.
Okay.
That gets them up to a 30-minute consult with the attorney.
Okay.
What we do is we collect the fee, let the caller know that who the attorney is, the number. We ask them to wait at least 15 minutes before calling their office.
Sure.
We have a form on the site,
time,
right? And they get it over to the attorney's office, because in fairness, we don't know the attorney's calendar.
Sure.
But they will set up for them to be able to speak with the attorney. And depending on, is it a criminal matter and it's time sensitive, that's where even we may send an email ahead of time. Just depends what's the turnaround time. Is it a landlord-tenant issue?
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the sensitivity matter, we'll go ahead and maybe reach out a little ahead of time to make sure, because we don't have a lot of time. Yes.
Made. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's actually helpful. So then the $50 fee, is that something that's uniform across the board no matter what kind of case it is?
No.
Okay.
So there are certain cases that aren't. And again, that's all determined by the Florida bar,
Mm-hmm.
right? So personal injury, you can't collect
contingency.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can't collect a fee.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay.
So anything that's contingent for the attorney, the same applies for the lawyer referral
Makes
service.
sense.
We're all
Okay.
following the same rules.
Okay. And just the public really understands how reasonable that fee is. Because some people might be like, oh my gosh, $50. Most attorneys' consultations fees can be hundreds of dollars. They could be $200, $400, $500 just for a consultation.
And there's some family law. I mean, it's over $600 for a 1 hour consult.
Just for the consultation. So that fee, in my opinion, is quite reasonable when you're just looking for a starting point to get your foot in the door.
And to know if you have a case, right?
Exactly.
If you can't make the legal fare, it's worth $50 instead of driving yourself crazy.
Connecting it back there. Yeah. Absolutely. So I think that's actually very, very fair. Now, for the lawyers that are listening who might be interested in getting involved as a panelist for the LRS service, do they have to pay to be involved in that program?
Yeah, they pay a small fee. It's $150 for the year.
Okay. Oh, that's very small.
Yeah. And the year is July 1st to June 30th.
Okay.
And typically, no matter when they sign on,
Mm-hmm.
that's the year. For the benefit for the attorneys, it's a call that they may have, received at the office.
Mm-hmm.
Or they may not have.
They may have never gotten
that phone call, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for the benefit for the attorney is for a small fee, they're at least getting people that have called the bar, have been referred by other areas, whether it was a Florida bar, the self-help center, or let's say a bigger law firm, and the case is then referred out to our panelists.
And they're being somewhat vetted as well. You're getting some of the initial information that saves a little bit of time on the front end because Alex and the team has already done that part.
Right. And when people are paying a $50 fee, it helps filter a little bit, right? So because a lot of people may own their own business. You can't pay your staff 8 and 9 hours a day just to answer questions all day long and no case comes out of it.
Yep.
After 3-4 months and you're looking and going, what's going on?
We've spent
X
amount of hours.
And we don't have one case. So
none of them turned into a case.
Right. Where I feel like through the lawyer referral service, there is definitely a benefit. And we can see that.
Right.
We have tracking methods.
And so this obviously radio show is really hitting the Tampa Bay area and our coverage range is mostly Tampa Bay. And so is that similar for LRS? Are you only taking cases in the local legal community?
Pinellas County only.
Okay.
And that's a very specific rule through the Florida bar, which then is regulated by the Supreme Court.
Got it.
Hillsborough County Bar has their own lawyer referral service.
Makes sense.
Not every county has one. If their county does not have one and they call the Florida bar looks. If there's not a lawyer referral service for that county, then they can help. They can help the person calling in.
Okay.
But if there is a lawyer referral service for that county, the Florida bar turns around and transfers them right to the Clearwater bar.
What about Pasco? Because some of our listeners are in Pasco.
Pasco is part of the Florida bar.
Florida bar. Okay. And what about Manatee? I'm putting you on the spot.
I know.
Do you know?
I don't think Manatee has a lawyer referral service.
Okay.
Collier and Lee County do.
Okay. All right. So basically, if CBA lawyer referral service cannot help you, then the Florida bar can kind of direct them to the right place.
Exactly.
Got it. So I think that's pretty helpful in the sense that that you're likely getting an attorney who's in your community and will likely be familiar with the issues. However, you can't tell your uncle in Alabama to call the LRS service because unfortunately he's out of the range of what you can do here in Pinellas.
And Alex is really good. He tries to search because we are a voluntary bar, and so he'll take a minute and see if he can search and give them a referral, so the person isn't just continuing to sit on the internet looking, not knowing where to start. So we'll try to refer another voluntary bar, mandatory bar for that state or area.
And you made a good point, because it is overwhelming, especially if it's a particular issue that just doesn't jump right out to you. Like for what we do, car accidents, it just kind of jumps right out to you. You need a car accident attorney or you need a personal injury attorney. But sometimes the issue that you're dealing with is a little bit more complicated. And like you said, you can get overwhelmed with searching on the internet or asking a friend and they don't really know. I don't know who to call. Lawyer Referral Service can help with that kind of thing. We haven't given the number. What is the number to call?
And you have to call. I do receive emails every once in a while. What I do is I email the lawyer referral team and ask them to call, to reach out the next business day. Mm-hmm. Again, we're taking a credit card over the phone. We want to make sure we're talking to a person, right? That's actually in Florida. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that sometimes annoys people. They're like, can you just email me? I work. We can after we've talked to them on the phone and kind of made sure
it's
that
not an AI robot.
Yeah. Right. Or someone stole someone's credit.
Exactly.
You just never know. So our phone number is 727-461-4880. And we do take live calls Monday through Thursday, 9:30 to 4:30.
Okay.
Hurricane withstand.
Right. And that
I was like, because not last Thursday.
That is obviously a great resource. And so if they are driving or whatever and they couldn't take down the phone number, they can still go to the Clearwater Bar website and there's a lawyer referral service page.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's for the public.
Okay.
So we have a tab on the bar website
for the public.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I think it's a great service, and it just helps kind of streamline things when you're not really sure how you can get the help or who can help you. You already have a panel of qualified legal, attorneys who can get the questions answered, and the fee, the consultations fee is very, very reasonable. So,
and our attorneys are happy. It is. Yes. It is probably. It's either my first or second revenue generator.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps the attorneys and it helps the people know, hey, do I even have a case?
Right. Exactly right. So if you can't make it to the Pro Bono Festival that we talked about earlier, that's this month, then of course call LRS and Teresa and Alex and the team, they'll all get you taken care of. Right. So the last thing that I wanted to close out before I let my wonderful guest go, because she's been amazing and she works so hard and she's all over the place. She even accidentally texted me today and she was organizing and I said, let's bring it up. I know we talked about it briefly off the air that there's nothing that's been formally organized as of this time. But of course, as the Clearwater Bar and as the foundation, you're always looking to help the public and the legal community who have been impacted by this unfortunate hurricane. And we know there's judges and lawyers who've essentially lost everything.
Everything.
Yeah. And they're still probably digging out of it right now. And at some point they may still need resources. And so if you're in that position, you're in the legal community or the general public, and you're looking for resources, is there anything that the Clearwater Bar is currently doing?
So because of my community involvement, what I try to do is share what's happening. Mm-hmm. So we're not adding an extra layer. Mm-hmm. We're just supporting the people that are doing things in our area.
Exactly.
So the Rotary District 6950 was doing collections, looking for volunteers. And they were at Achieva Bank on Main Street in Dunedin, getting, where there was a point where they had a list of everything that was needed and for people to go drop it off.
Is that still ongoing? That
you know what? I drove by. I didn't verify because my phone died.
That's how busy this woman is.
So while I was driving from Tarpon to Clearwater, I saw it was going on and I saw signs.
Okay.
Also, if they go to the Clearwater Bar Facebook page, I shared Heap Tang is one of my Rotarians at the Oldsmar East Lake Rotary Club. Mm-hmm. He's also over the American Red Cross. He wrote a letter, email to me I just copied and pasted it. So it has his personal cell phone, his personal email, the 800 number for the Red Cross, our area Red Cross, just so if people need resources. And when we say resources, lodging, some cash, meaning like a Visa card, whatever, because he said, I said, oh, is it certain income? And he said, Teresa, when your house burns down, you're not thinking about, I needed my ID and he's like, so how do you go to the bank to withdraw cash? There's a little bit of a gap. You're running out with just what's on your back.
Yeah.
So shoes, some basic clothes. So that's where they help fill that gap, even if it's for a 24 to 48 hour period to kind of get your thoughts together, go get ID, go do things. They're fantastic. And then he also said, if there's something you want to do and you want to help, like you felt bad this week, right? Your house wasn't damaged. Maybe you lost power, but you wanted to help. You're trying to figure out, where can I help?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people in that position.
Oh my God. Everybody was texting, where can I go? Who needs help? Who needs me to dig out? So you're trying to send people where whoever is texting you to try to pull things out to the corner. But they can also make a donation. So if there's if they're not capable of going out there, or they have injuries or whatever, but they want to help, they also provided that. So I just keep trying to share resources on the Clearwater Bar Association page. So people that we've done business with or have known for 10 years or more, that they need dumpsters or whatever they may need. I just try to keep sharing it. Airbnbs, I tried to share what was available.
Right. And that's obviously huge right now. I've seen a lot of lawyers that were displaced and they just need temporary housing for them and their families. And that's what I think a lot of people have kind of turned to, is like the rentals like Airbnb.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull up the page now, but if you have Facebook, make sure you follow the Clearwater Bar Association, because this is obviously going to be an ongoing recovery for our local community. It's not something that's just going to be better overnight, especially on the coastal areas and the beaches. So as Teresa mentioned, she's kind of just sharing the resources as they come, and they'll continue to update those.
Yeah, I'll keep sharing it on the page, and that way, that's the best thing that we can do. Instead of creating something new, just help everybody that's around doing what they're doing best.
Sure. And then if you're attorneys, or you have a law firm, or you have a business who's doing a drive and you want to let Teresa know, or let the community know, and you want her to share it,
I'll share it.
Definitely reach out. I know some firms, we've done it before in the past, where we have gotten the resources into our office, our clients, friends, vendors. They would come in and drop off the material, and then we would go and deliver it. I don't know yet if we're going to be setting something up like that for this storm, but we've done it in the past. And so if we've done it, I'm sure many, many other people do it. So feel free to publicize it and let us know. And Clearwater Bar is always happy to assist and get those resources out there for
and
the
community. Tag. If they tag Clearwater Bar.
That's true.
We have 3 administrators. We'll take a look, just make sure it's not spam. And if it isn't, we just accept it and share it.
Yeah. Well, Teresa, it has been lovely chit-chatting with you on the show tonight as you came in today.
Thank
I said, I haven't seen you forever, but that's because I'm always hiding in my office or at home.
Mine more months.
But I know I'll be coming right back here soon and getting involved. You obviously have an exciting calendar ahead for the foundation and for the Bar Association. Again, Pro Bono Festival.
Wednesday, October 23rd.
Wednesday, October 23rd. Go onto the clearwaterbar.org website to find out more if you want to volunteer or attend. And that'll be the next thing that's coming up for the community. So, Teresa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
To our faithful listeners, as you know, this is FLA Law Live on the radio. We are here every Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Please join us next week with myself and my colleague, Lori Robinson from the firm, and we'll be answering all your legal and personal injury questions on the air next Tuesday at 5. Thank you all. We'll see you next week.